Hey everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about the reasons why you should not move to Evanston, Wyoming. 5 top reasons that I know that you shouldn't move to Evanston, Wyoming. So come and join me and let's check them out. So I would say definitely do not move to Evanston, Wyoming if you are all about that city life. Evanston, Wyoming is a small town. Most Wyoming is just super small, generally not a lot of population. We're actually one of the least populated states in the entire nation. So if you love to be around tons of people, it's not just gonna work for you living in a small town like this. So with that small town comes small town reputation. So your reputation in small towns is going to be huge. Everyone is going to know who you are, probably where you live, what you do for a living, probably how much you make in a small town. I remember living in a big city, and the big city, you might know your neighbors next door, but you don't know anyone else. But in small towns, everyone knows who everyone is. So prepare, if you want to move to a small town, prepare for that hugely. So if you love the big cities, you love being kind of not known and just go about your daily life and don't really talk to anyone, probably wouldn't move to a small town. All right, so the second reason I would not want you to move here is if you're hardcore into shopping. If you're wanting to go out and go shopping at like strip malls and malls in general, we don't really have a lot of that here in Wyoming. You're going to be a little bit more secluded from all of that. So you're not going to be able to go get with your girls, go get with your boys, go out to Ross or Target and be able to go out on shopping adventures. Most of your shopping adventures are going to be on Amazon.com or another online site, or it's going to be at the country western store. So if you're into those flannel, long sleeve shirts, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, we got you. Most places in Wyoming, they have a Murdoch's or a country store where you can go in and get country apparel. There is some apparel stores here in town that cater more towards women, but for the men's side, we don't have very much men's clothing stores, except if you're hardcore into Western wear. So that's something you got to be aware of. If you love shopping, I probably wouldn't move here if you're hardcore into that, or you're just going to have to get used to the online shopping like the rest of us. Number 3, don't move to Wyoming if you hate the wind. So here it is windy non-stop. It's just there and we just kind of get used to it. We don't really get tornadoes very much where we live in Evanston. I can't say too much about the other parts of the state because there is some flat parts of the state, but the wind everywhere around here is just brutal. We're actually one of the top windiest states in the country. We average 12 miles per hour winds pretty much all the time. So if you're worried about your hair getting blown around in the wind, I have a solution for you. You might not like it though. But if you can deal with the wind, then it might be the right place for you. But if you hate the wind, you can't stand the wind always, probably wouldn't move to Wyoming due to it's always windy here. It's actually really nice when we don't get that wind, but it doesn't happen very often. So hopping in right to number 4 on the 5 reasons why you might not want to live here in Evanston, Wyoming, or in Wyoming is because of the cold. So the cold is brutal around here. So it is cold here. It feels like an eternity. Like the winters just drag on. We do have beautiful summers and the cold kind of trickles into our summers a little bit. So most of the houses here in Evanston don't actually even have any sort of air conditioning. So that's how cold you can kind of think of it. In the summers, there might be a week or two where it gets up to the mid 80s and it is drier here. So if you're comparing that to a wetter climate with more humidity, it's totally different. So be wary of that because 60 degrees here is super nice, but 60 degrees in Texas or in Hawaii can be miserable. So it's totally different on on where you're at, but the cold and the long winters and just the brutalness of the long winters and the snow can really take a toll on lots of people, especially if you're not prepared for it. Don't have a four-wheel drive vehicle. One thing to watch out for, especially in real estate, is electric baseboard heaters. They're in a lot of houses around here, and they're really super convenient and they don't take up much space, but they do kill a lot of people on their electric bills. They're super expensive to run. So when you're looking at real estate here, I would definitely push people to look at the natural gas or the propane options versus electric baseboard heating or electric heating in general. So that's one of the 5 reasons not to move here, is just because it's cold so long, and some people don't like that. But if you're big into the outdoors and you can bundle up, it might be a great place for you. Hey y'all, are you thinking about relocating to Evanston, Wyoming? My team and I have developed the ultimate relocation guide, and it's 100% free. Down in the description. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. All right, so number 5 reasons why you might not want to move to Wyoming. That's one of my reasons I like and I dislike very much. So there is tons and tons of dirt roads here. Not all roads are paved in Wyoming. I remember when I moved here, people would always joke, like, do you guys even have running water here? And I'd just joke around. No, we got outhouses and hitching posts for our horse. And most areas are not like that, but there are still tons and tons of dirt roads out there. If you're looking for that secluded property in the middle of nowhere, chances are you're going to be driving on a dirt road, and it could or could not be maintained. But even if they're maintained and they're graded on a regular basis, your truck or your car is going to be filthy all of the time. You're going to have mag water that accumulates on your truck. Your truck and your car is just kind of be dirty. And the crazy thing about that is every time you get in and out of your truck, bam, you got it right on the back of your calf. Big old mud streak all the time. But that's the price we pay to live in secluded areas away from people, where we can have horses and cows. Most of the dirt roads, I know up in the town of Bear River, they love their dirt roads because most of the people in Bear River have horses, that they can actually take their horses, travel down the road on their horses, taking their horses out for walks. In Bear River, there's also a little area where you can take your horse back and down by the river, but you're gonna have to deal with those muddy roads all the time. So whenever it rains, whenever it snows, your truck, your car is always going to be dirty. So you just got to be okay with your truck being dirty. If you're not okay with your truck being dirty, you might want to live in the city somewhere, not quite out of town. And there is those options, but the dirt roads do accumulate tons and tons of mud all the time, and you'll see people all the time, big old mud stripe right down your calf of your pants all the time. If you hate dirt roads, probably not the right place for you. Thank you all for joining me on the 5 reasons why you should move to Wyoming. Once again, please like and subscribe to the channel. It super helps me out so much. Thank you for joining me. And if you guys have any questions about real estate in Wyoming or Utah, feel free to throw me a comment below. And thank you for joining me. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.